one option within this aggregation is what sorted input, right? Yes or no? Yeah. So, in the sense, if we have sorted input, we can just take it as or prerequisite or take it as source for aggregator to perform group by stuff. So that is fine. Yeah. But how it works, that we are going to see. So sorted input, right? So, but if we try to make use of this option without pre-sorted data, we have seen what error. So if it is sorted, then only we can enable that. That's okay. So now let's talk about how this particular sorted or sorter is going to work. Yeah. So let's understand that. It's very simple. So just to understand the concept of sorter and usage of it, it's very straightforward. Yeah. So which means this particular sorter transformation will be used in order to perform what ordering of data. Yeah. So ordering could be either ascending order or it could be descending order. We all know that. Yeah. So like we use in database order by keyword with any kind of order, ascending or descending, right? We all know that. That's a very straightforward concept. Yeah. So in IICS DA also we do the same thing. In a sense, we can just select any column that would become as what key column based on which we can perform ordering. And now look at here. Can we use more than one column as input to order the data? Answer is yes, we can do it. Yeah. But remember, guys, if you try to perform ordering data based on more than one column, what we should do, we should think of converting n number of columns to a single column and take that as input to perform ordering instead of directly using what I call multiple columns as ordering columns or key columns. So why we'll see that? Yeah. So now you know what is required to perform ordering. It's based on key column. Yeah. Now the next question: how this particular sorted algorithm is going to work? Yeah. So if you call back, sorry, multiple algorithms that we have in operating system, right? We got multiple algorithms, right? In order to perform like scheduling and the way these processes or threads or slices will get executed in any operating system, right? Same way, this sorter is also going to work. Yeah. So now, when it comes to simple, or what do you call algorithms within operating system, right? Like we have round robin, many other scheduling algorithms. Yeah, this is also similar to that. Yeah. Sorry. Now, when it comes to what you call simple predefined OS algorithms, especially with respect to ordering, right? We got different types of sorting algorithms. Yes or no? So, what are those things, guys? So, if we have linear data, then we can use what we call linear sort to take care of it. If you have what we call piling of data, then we can use heap sort to take care of ordering. Let us say we got jumbled kind of data, then we can use what merge sort, yeah, to take care of it. If you have mixed kind of linear heap and jumbled data, then we can use what quick sort to take care of it. Likewise, you got different types of sorting algorithms in order to take care of ordering. Now, the question when it comes to IICS data integration, are we going to make use of what I call similar sorting algorithms or not? Answer is what? No. So, because IICS has got its own built in algorithms to take care of ordering data. Because here we deal with what? N number of source systems with large volume. Yeah? So, but still, we can make use of pre-built sorting algorithms to get the job done, but they are not that effective when we try to deal with what very large volume of data. Now, how it works? So that's going to be the question mark. So let us try understanding that. So remember, guys, we all know that this particular IICS follows what multi-threading architecture. Yes or no? Meaning what? If you try to run any task or a task flow or any other individual activity within this IICS, the first and foremost thing that is going to spawn is what a process. Underneath, we can have what I call n number of threads, and each thread work on its own. Or we can say they will treat it as what I call work on threads. Yeah. So that's it. That's a starting point. Yeah. Now, so what are those worker threads and how these threads are going to solve our sorting issues, right? So remember, so within in the context of sorting, I'm just talking about this n number of threads in the context of sorting only. So other threads we all know, like we have got a session thread, or mapping thread, or reader thread, or writer thread, or pre-session thread, or post-session thread. We all know that. Yeah. So that's the old story. Now let us stress towards what specific to sorter. Yeah. So now you can ask question or you can just try to answer. Do we expect only one thread to carry out sorting operation? Answer is no, especially in the context of sorting. Now the question. So now what are the threads that were taken as a base to perform these activities? So that's where you'll have the first and foremost thread, which is going to be what? Sorter thread. Right? So I repeat, the first and foremost thread is going to be what? Sorted thread. So what it does, yeah, it's going to perform ordering. That's okay. Now the next thread is going to be the writer thread, which means whatever sorting is done by this particular sorter, what is sorter thread, right? It is going to write to intermediate storage media, which we call a disk. Yeah. And then once it is done, so what happens? So bunch of operations would take place, sorter, writer, and so on. Now, who is going to collect the result? So that's where you have what I call final merge thread. Yeah. Then once it is done, what this particular final merge does, it is going to collect the data that is written by the writer thread onto a disk. Then there is going to be complete sort. Remember, this particular sorter thread is going to perform sorting based on the buffer size that we define, right? And this particular complete sort would happen based on what? The result of final merge thread, right? That's it. As a result of it, so here partial sorting, right? Here complete sort. In the sense, if you have 1 to 10, all the 10 rows would get started. But in this case, let's say buffer can fit first two rows, only those two rows would get started. So same way, it would be repeated till the completion of all the rows. We can say part of it would be done by individual sorter and collation part would be sorted by using what? Complete sort. Right? Now, there's a one more thread which we call non-final merge thread. Yeah? So which means in case if we have a limit with respect to what? Disk storage. In that case, only this particular non-final merge thread would play a role, or else this thread is not required in most of the cases. If we hit the upper threshold limit with respect to disk, then only this particular thread is going to play a role, or else you can just ignore that. Yeah, these are the multiple threads that will be spawned by the sorter operation within IICS. Right? Now the question, how do they work when it comes to what operation? How will you make multiple threads to talk to each other so that we can perform sorting? Let us do that.
Nasina, these are internal activity by IICS, right?
Yes. Why we
Oh,
are trying to understand, I can ask this question. You are right. Why we are trying to understand this much? Because one, let us say sometimes sort would take more time than or longer than expected. In that case, we need to know how to get it optimized. To get there, if we have internal understanding, then only we can get it optimized. Otherwise, somehow you'll be changing that sort size, or block size, or buffer size, or cache, or scratch disk, whatever. So you'll be doing it blindly. But if you want to do it in a systematic approach, then if we have proper understanding, right, then we can just come up with what? Right numbers. Yes. So,
please, your end, please make it a full screen. Maybe
oh,
it is.
done. Is it fine now? Done.
Yes, yes. Now it's fine.
For I'll have to increase this font size, I guess. Uh, Fine. So now it's better, I guess. Yeah, fine. So now let's talk about how independent threads are going to work. Yeah. So let's say we have got only 30 rows of data. That's like a very simple example. Yeah. And now there is a buffer size, right? And buffer can fit, let's say 10 rows. Yeah. So we'll talk about buffer, how and what basis we define. That's later part of the story. I'll assume that there is a buffer which is predefined and that can fit 10 rows at a time. Yeah. In this case, what happens? There'll be three splits: one, two, and three. In the first split, what happens? It is going to process, let's say, 10 rows. It in the sense here, sort a thread, right? So once it is finished, once it is completed, right, output of that will be taken as input to downstream thread, which we call writer thread. The result of writer thread will be sent to a disk, which means we reserve enough space to store or to perform intermediate sorting operation, right? That's all. Same process will be repeated even for what? second, and third. I'll just copy and paste second and third. It's over, right? So independently, they have completed. Let's say here 10 rows, 10 rows will be added. Second set of 10 rows will be added in the second set, and then third set of 10 rows will be added in third set. Perfect. So now we have used only two threads. I'm sorry. Now the next question, what do you do with this? So only partial part is done, right? So final merge would come in the sense disk one, not disk one, disk part one data of sorting, and then disk part two, disk part three, right? So now what happens? There is going to be another thread which will be used to pull the data from what? Intermediate sorted data, which we call what final merge thread. Yeah. So which means output of this intermediate sorted data will be taken as input to final merge thread, right? Then again, final merge means it's going to collate, nothing else. It doesn't do anything. Then output of that will be taken as input to complete sort, where it is going to perform what you call all 30 rows, which will be arranged based on whatever user expects, like ascending or descending. Okay? That's it. And result of this particular complete sort would be taken as input to the downstream transformation. So this is what would happen when it comes to what simple sorting of source system data, right? That's it. Yeah. So with this, we know like how to make use of four sorting or sorting related threads. Yeah. Now the question, in case let's say we have got a limitation with respect to disk, only this much space only reserved for this DI or IICS application. In that
One
case,
question, Narsima.
yes,
Like
please.
you have given 30 row example and split it into 10 row, three different, and they are writing into three different disks, maybe buffer disks or
Disk multiple files.
okay,
Okay.
to multiple files. Then okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah. File one, file two, file three. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So that's why I use part one. Okay, fine. So that's it. Yeah. Now what it does, let us say we are going to hit the limit of storing the number of files within this disk. Yeah. The number of files should be varied. Yeah, based on OS to OS. Let's say it can store, let us say, two example. Let's take this only. So in that case, what happens? What non-final merge thread is going to do after completing first two things? Let's say first two splitted sorted data, right? So this generate two files. So these two files, let's say file one and file two, will be taken as input to this non-final merge. Yeah. Then output of that will be stored in what? File one underscore two dot bin file. That's it. Right. And third one, again, this will be combined, which is this particular file one two with other one, which is let's say file three. Right. So these two will be combined. Then output of that will be taken as input to what? Final merge thread. Right. That's it. So then rest follows, like whatever has been discussed up here. Yeah. So this is how the usage of multiple threads would take place and interaction. Remember how the interaction would take place. Yeah. I've just talked about very high level. Then how it works into that much is not required for you guys. So you can just cut it down here. Yeah. Now, what do we infer from this n number of threads? The answer is what? Answer is what? One will have span overhead. Yes or no? Because it has to span n number of threads just to perform one sorting operation. And second, you will have what connectivity overhead, yeah? Or we can say connection overhead. Because if you have multiple threads, we need to make them to communicate with each other, right? For that, we have to have a proper connection mechanism, which is inter-thread communication mechanism. As a result, the data transfer should take place, which will have additional overhead, or we can say that there is going to be data transfer overhead. So, because of these two reasons, it is not advisable to use sorted transformation if not needed. Yeah, remember. Yeah, so avoid using as much as possible because it's one of the expensive transformation within this data integration. Yeah. So another question. So this is expensive, right? Do we have any fallback option to get the job done in a short time? Answer is yes. We got third party sorting algorithms, guys, but Informatica, they don't recommend to make use of third party sorting algorithms. But there are some other integration tools like IBM InfoSpeed, whatever, right? Even here also we can integrate if you know like how to integrate, provided customer is ready to buy what we call separate license for third-party sorting algorithms. Most of the cases, I would say 95 to 99 percentage, they won't prefer to go with it. Instead, Informatica recommends start adding additional hardware. That's what they recommend. They'll never encourage third-party sorting algorithms. Yeah? But other guys, they would encourage. So if there is a third-party, topmost sorting algorithm that we have in the universe is what? Sync sort, which is the fastest sorting algorithm that we have till today. Yeah? But let us say, even if you don't want to buy third-party sorting algorithm, so let's assuming that we are going to work under Sun Solaris. Yeah. So I repeat, let's say we are going to work under Sun Solaris, which is one of the Unix flavor, right? So even Solaris sort command we have, right? Which is much faster than Informatica sort. Remember that, yeah? So if we have Solaris, right, we can directly use that sort. But we have other Unix flavors, right? Linux, Fedora, Debian, AX, HP, Unix, HP Atom. We got multiple flavors of Unix, which are not that great. Yeah. So, but compared to those sorts, right, Informatica is better. But if you go with Solaris, right, that is much faster. Yeah. So that's it, guys. So now we know the issues with respect to what sort of. But let us try to perform one practical example with respect to use. It's very simple, but we'll do one example. Okay? Any questions, guys, from anybody? No? So yeah, usage is exactly similar to Power Center, so nothing different from that. Yeah. So now let us try to get into this data integration. So now here we are going to use what do you call, let's say, sorted transformation, yeah, followed by aggregation. That's what we're going to do. So with sorted input option. Yeah. So yes, there are some options here like disk, all that, yeah, which is exactly similar to power center. Yeah. So let us try. So getting it configured here. Yeah. So yeah, our agent is ready. Let us try to build a mapping. Yes, here we can make use of sort. Yes, being on that, and then followed by what we call aggregator. Yeah, right. So that's it. Yeah. So now we just organized it. Sorry. Now let us take so source configuration. Yeah. So which we all know. Yeah, this is straightforward. Yeah. So now let us try to specify any file. But in this, you'll not be able to see any effect because we are trying to use very low volume of data. Okay? Yeah. Now let's try to configure sorter. There's three columns we have. Yeah. There's one more thing, but I didn't talk about it. Can you see here, guys? Field rules. Let's say there are 10 columns from the source. Yeah. But business expects only subset of it. In that case, we can include instead of all fields, we can specify based on name, type, whatever. Yeah. So that we can just filter out with respect to what columns. Yeah. So whatever you want, we can also get it transferred. Yeah. Yeah. Now this is very straightforward. Yeah. So sort key we can specify here. Let's we are going to use C1 with descending whatever, right? This is straightforward. Yeah. So that's it. Now the next question. So like we talked about yesterday, cache size, right? So we can see here sorter cache as you can specify. There's one more extra what do you call input parameter which is working directory. So that's what I was saying, disk space, right? So which means whenever we install this particular what agent, right? For every agent you will have corresponding location, which is a temp location, right? We all know that. Similar to Power Center. Here you will have under data folder, you will have what temp directory. Like info shared we have, right? So data is equal to that. Yeah? So now the question, so we can specify in case if we have what we call the space which is other than this, we can just specify that absolute path or variable which can be defined at agent level. Yeah? So as a global property, right, where you can just define. So what is the corresponding thing in Power Center, guys? Where do you define in case if you want our own voice profile, especially in the context of temp directory? Where do you do that? in Power Center integration service, right? If you go to admin console in Power Center integration service, where you can have our own custom voice profile, or if you want to use default voice profile, we can change the value corresponds to this variable. Yeah. So that's it. Then, yeah, I think we talked about if you want to eliminate duplicates, yeah, then we can use what? Distinct. Yeah. Null by default equal priority. If you want to make it low, you can also do it. This is scope is all the rows or all the inputs. So that's it, guys. So there's only one extra parameter, which is temp dir. Yeah. That's a very important thing for sorter because we can also call it as what? Scratch disk, where we perform intermediate sorting operation. Yeah. So then, yeah, let us try to change the type because aggregate normal we perform most of the cases, not all the cases, which is numeric operations. We discussed about that.
So
Yeah.
now to a question here. So
Yes.
this sorter, it will eliminate that duplicate and sorter like sorted like together, or do I need to use different sorter for that?
No, same sorter we can use. It can perform sorting plus elimination of duplicate records. It does both. Uh, yeah.
Okay.
If we enable that, yes, it does sorting followed by removal of duplicate records. Yeah, we don't
Okay.
need to use separate sorter. So yeah, but the problem is in uh, in this sorter, right? Let me let me just ask a question to you guys. Let's say we got two rows, two duplicated rows, one, one. Let's say this is key column. Yeah. So now let's say data column. So some data. This is let's say address data, address part one, and address part one data. It contains not null. I'll just put some data here, like a street number, street name, whatever. Yeah. Then here we got let us say null data or partial data, partial address data. Yeah. And let us take one more column, which is a name column, which contains ABC here. And here we got ABCD. Now tell me, guys, so assuming that, anyway, no, we don't need to assume. Based on the key, we try to what arrange the data. Order is the same because same value. That's okay. But if we enable distinct option, what will happen? That's a question, right? Tell me, guys, is that going to retain? In the sense, is that sorter going to retain first or last or anywhere? Yeah. Let's add one more. Let's say here. Yeah. So let's say A, B, C, D, E. Yeah. Three are duplicates, right? Based on sort key. So, but which one is going to retain first, second, or third, or anywhere? Yeah. By default,
Any
most
value.
recent. Sorry.
My understanding it is like any value it will return.
Yeah. By default, it will be most recent. Yeah. That's a
The last
default. Most
value,
recent.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Most recent could be last or first, whatever, whichever is recent. That's a default. But let's take this. If you go with, let's say, first, if we retain this first as a good record, are we going to lose anything here? Answer is yes. Because address wise, it is okay. We got a full address. What about name? Name we got last record has got a good value, which is whichever record has got more number of characters, we can treat that as what? Most trustworthiness data. We all know that, right? Yes or no? In that case, we are losing good data for name column. Now, let us take another case. Let's say we are explicitly doing with some intermediate expression transformation, right? with manipulation, if you do it, let us say we are going to retain last duplicated row. In this case, what we are going to get it here, name wise, it is good. And what happens? Address. Address wise, we are not getting good address, right? We are getting null. In this case, also, we are going to fail. Yes or no? In both the cases, though we eliminate duplicate records, we cannot certain that we'll get to see the right record for any customer, any product here. Then how do you take care? Can someone answer this question? Within what you call data integration, we can do it with a lot of complex mathematical functions, but it is difficult. Then how do you take care? That's where we got other tools, right, which we discussed in the life cycle. So we need to use what you call quality followed by MDM, where they are going to work at cell level, or we can also say at column level. In the sense, whichever record has got more number of characters, let's say assuming that we need to make most data to be survived. That's one of the rule, or we can say that is one of the merged rule. Yeah. In that case, what happens if we take this sample data as input, right? So if we try to combine or eliminate duplicate records, then what happens? In first record, name will be survived. From last record, sorry, from first record address will be survived, and from last record name will be survived. This is going to be the good data. Yeah. So to perform this, we can take the help from other tools rather than just by using data integration. That's why other tools have become popular, right? To get this, to get accurate data. The accuracy is most important, right? Yes or no? Yeah. So that's it. So distinct why I'm trying to talk about here, because it is not advisable to use this distinct option within data integration. Instead, do it by taking the help from what other tools. You got it, right? Yeah. So that's it. We have option. Let's say to take care of this what you call distinct, right? You can do it. But if that complete row is good, this is okay. But that it's not guaranteed, right? In most of the cases. Some cases, yes, not all the cases. Yeah. Fine. So that is done. Now let's go to what aggregator. So this is same as earlier, no change. I think we've all done it. We can do it quickly because we know it. Yeah. Let's say some result. Yeah. So which is it's a double circuit. Yeah. So remember here, sorter followed by aggregator based on a common key columns, which means if you have used sorting key as C1, group key should be C1. If you use some other key, no, then sorter is not going to serve any purpose. So yes, now we can just use, I think we know it, right? Function sum, let's say C2. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Now we can use this option, which is sorted input. Now you'll not get to see any error. So let's try to configure target. Yeah, this is straightforward. Yeah, meantime, if you have any questions, right, you guys can start thinking. Let's say sorter aggregator result dot txt. So mapping underscore sorter. Yes. Okay, that's it. Yeah, now let's run it.
Narasimha, like
Yes, Ravi.
the transformation scope, right? What is that all what is that actually in aggregator or sorter? There is some
Transformation
scope.
scope, last property, right? Yes, all
Uh,
input. Yeah,
okay.
which means,
So
yes,
what is it actually? I mean, why do they have that option there?
yeah. The reason is actually, let's say if you want to consider all the rows within the same buffer or splitted buffers, then that particular property is going to play a role. But by default, we will be using all input. That's a default, which means whatever happens in any, this option is there even other transformations also. Whatever happens by default will be taken that as a what I call base. Yeah. But if you want to override that behavior, which means use splits rather than normal chunks, which is derived from buffer, right? Then we use what a different option. So which is other than all input. So we can just select what other available options like transaction based. But this is good for databases, not for non-database sources, Ravi. Yeah, because database
Oh, okay,
works best on
got
what
it.
transactional,
Mhm.
not for normal relational sources like files or applications. Ravi. Yeah,
No.
fine. So we can extend that within transaction also. So if you have, let us say, what do you call, like we have, yeah, there is a one more transformation called transaction transformation, whatever, where we perform what before commit, after commit, before uh, what you call rollback, after rollback, right? So if we have such kind of what you call operation that we perform, right? In that case also we can use this option in consultation with them. That's the second case where we use this option. Yeah. But it has been designed primarily for databases. Yeah. We can still use it for not a database. We will not get to see much benefit. Yeah. Right. So now let us, yeah, see the result here. So anyway, it's very straightforward. So you'll have data which will be organized in descending order. Let's say that. Okay. Yeah. So can you see, guys? All five rows have been organized descending order based on C1
Hmm.
column.
Narzima, just one question. Now, means your daily classes, you are showing like different transformation and mapping. So in Informatica Power Center, like we are creating workflow under that so many worklet, under that so many sessions, like we are performing like some dependent jobs also. So here, how it could be implemented in terms of IICS task flow,
You can
huh?
see it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Parallel task, linear task, okay,
Yeah.
sequential task. So
It's
under
there.
task flow, we can call to mapping.
Yes, like workflow. Like in workflow, we got
Okay.
set of tasks, right? Like email,
Mm,
command task, mail task,
okay.
session task, event wait, event trace. We got multiple
Mm,
types of tasks, right? Similar kinds of things can be done here. Yeah.
okay. Event task is also there, eh?
Yes, yes, we have it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. See, it is still evolving, right? Some things are not there, but we can take care of it in two ways. One, by using a scripts. Second, by using a programming. Yeah, there are two ways to take care of it. So that way, with respect to integration wise, IS is much better. Not only that, with respect to what I call interaction with the third-party applications, IICS is going to overlay Power Center. But anyway, you can think beyond Power Center,
No.
for now.
So,
But anyway,
script
yes,
will be
please.
used in task flow, na? Like directly
Which one?
in
Sorry.
no, suppose we want to do some SFTP after like file generated and want to send somewhere. So within task flow, there is an option to
Command
like,
task.
okay, command task.
Yeah. Same thing we do, right? Even Power Center also we can use command task, right?
Correct, correct. Okay.
Yeah, they are very simple things. So what we need to think is we need to think very what I call complex things which can't be done Power Center. So that's where IS is going to play a very key role. So fine. Anyway, we'll get there. So that's it, guys. About like how sorted followed by aggregator is going to work. Yeah.
So
Now the
one
next
more,
question. Yes,
sorry,
please.
again, like
Yeah.
you have
Go ahead.
used three files for sorting this one. Okay. So in IICS, we want some example of file list. There you can keep all three files and all three files. Is it possible there here also? File list, indirect file list.
Very much. I think I talked about that.
Uh,
So yes, we have one option in source type. Second option
uh,
is file list. Yeah.
uh,
So it's similar to indirect in
hmm.
Power Center. Yeah. But we configure this in session level as part of workflow designer workspace. But yes, here we can do it at source level itself. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
Simon.
okay. Just syntax
Yeah.
part, right? Where we configure, we don't care whether we get similar functionality or not. Yes. By using this,
This
you'll get
part
it.
you have already covered file list. It
No. I didn't touch. We just
okay.
focus over single object only.
But
So
future
I didn't talk
you are going to cover
yes,
na,
yes.
this
I'm
one.
going to yes, yes,
Okay.
I'm going to
Thanks.
cover. So because see, when you can ask question why we have not covered, right? The reason is so we got combinability, non-combinability, right? Meaning what? So we can let us say we get the data from multiple source systems like homogeneous or heterogeneous. Now the question, if you want to combine the data from multiple sources, right? So we can use available combinable transformations to perform data combination, right? So here also we do the same thing in file list also, right? So you'll have n number of files or they're all data files. So each data file, let's say, has come from one source system. Yes or no? Assume that. So we just used FTP and got them onto this local and start performing what we call combining data. That's what we do, right? So, but can we do it in a different way? Answer yes. To do that, we got lookup, joiner, union, or even with Java, right? There are multiple ways to combine the data. In that context, I'm going to introduce this and see how we get to see the benefit of this file list over other combinable transformations and vice versa. So that's where I'm going to talk this particular concept. Bharat. Got right?
Narsimha,
Yes, please.
uh, for me, I'm not able to see the file list and command. I only see parameter and single object.
Okay. Yeah, remember when you try to register, right? This IICS, we need to register with what app integration rather than plain data integration. So plain data integration does not have all the capabilities. Like one of them you talked about it. Not only that, there are some more limitations. For example, if you want to talk to, let's say, third-party APIs, which also can't be done. Likewise, there are some limitations. So that's why at the time of registration or subscribing, right, we need to what register the right one so that you will not see this kind of problem. Mamta?
If everyone
Yeah.
is okay, can we
Yes, that's
install
what we are
and
going to
register
do.
tomorrow?
Yes, that's what we are going to do. Today actually I covered this topic. Now its time is not there. So, but I think we'll plan this topic tomorrow. We'll focus one day on that. Mamta?
Yeah, sure,
Installation
Narasimha.
part, huh? Narasimha?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
Yes. Bharat, yeah. So we'll try to focus on that. Yeah, looks like Mamata noticed this part specifically. That's good to know that, Mamata. Yeah, fine. Any other questions, guys?
Not question, Narasimha. Tomorrow I will not be able to join the class.
Oh, you'll not be able to join.
No.
Yes, which means you'll not join, right? So then I think installation part everybody should be there, guys, because that's one of the important thing. After that, one you can start getting into hands-on, right? Yes or no? Okay. Let me think and I'll get back to you, Raymond, like what to be done, right? So yeah, that's all, guys, for today. I think we'll stop because if I start new topic, it will take more time. So yeah, Paul, you can just use
Like,
this.
unlike this on-prem, we don't need to have that installation software, right? So is it like just
Yes,
registering
you're
through
right.
that?
You're right.
Okay.
That's a major benefit here, Ravi. Yeah. Or
Mm,
else we don't need
okay.
to think of getting into cloud environment, right? The major benefit
Mm,
is what? Installation part,
no, it's
configuration, maintenance, all that will be taken care by Informatica. That's one of the first and foremost benefit, Ravi. Right?
okay. Right.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, we'll just use this leftover time for questions only, guys. You can ask any kind of question. Otherwise, I'll try to ask questions. Yeah. So yeah, let me ask question. So we just talked about some of them, right? Some of the transformations, right? And so far, what is the benefit that we see from Informatica Cloud over on-prem power center, other than installation? That part we discussed already, right? Yeah.
I see
So
that the mapping generating the task directly. So that is one good thing. So you don't have to go to separately workflow designer and do all that. So you create a
okay,
mapping, run it, it is automatically generating that workflow. That is one
okay,
advantage I see.
Uh,
yes,
Previewing the data at each level, it helps a lot. Instead of seeing the end result, we can see the result data with each transformation.
at any level in the mapping or whatever, right? That's what you meant to say, right?
Yeah.
Mamta? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both can be done, even on-prem also. I'll answer that. Any other things? Both are possible on-prem also. I'll talk about it. Anything else? If there are
And
no
if
questions, I'll answer.
mapping is invalid, so we can see the results, right? We can see the error
Yes,
message.
that's possible. That is possible in local also. Yeah, anything else? Yeah, let me answer. First, Ravi's thing, right? So, yeah. So which means we don't need to create a workflow and then have session config. Such things are not required. Directly, you can just take care of it mapping level itself. That is possible even local environment if you use Informatica Developer Client. I think you would have used it. Using Informatica Developer Client, we can perform one, profiling, second, data quality, third, power center. Three of them can be done with a single client, which we call Informatica Developer Client, where whatever we are trying to do here, right, all of them can be done even there also, exactly same. So that is why you can say that this particular IICS data integration is exactly similar to Informatica Developer Client in the local environment, which means so there also we can create a mapping, source side, target side, we can configure whatever we are doing, right? Like a path, file name, all that, right? Everything can be done even there also. We can run mapping also directly, even there also. Exactly similar to what we are trying to do here. That's answer to Ravi's question. Yeah? Which means power center, even extra things with a single client can be done. Yeah? From 10.x, I think most of the customers they are using that Informatica developer. Even pre 10.x, it was there since 8. Version onwards. But that time quality was not popular. It has become popular after 9.x version of Informatica. That's fine. That's answer to Ravi's question. And Mamata, you were trying to say preview, right? Even preview is there. and each and every transformation level for any mapping, right? Informatica developer, which means answer to both of your question, what you call questions is Informatica developer. That solves both of them. Yeah. And always think about valid invalid, right? That is there for both Power Center Informatica developer, because without having any interface to look at where it went wrong, right, it's very difficult to fix it. That anyway, we have this option in both. Ali. So we can, but interface is different. We can see an output pin in the bottom. Here we can see in the right side. That's only right, or usage part of it. Yeah. So any other things you need to think very what you call logical and functional
Uh,
questions.
in Power
Yes, please.
Center, if one is using the mapping, another person cannot use it. But here we can.
Okay, which means sharing part, right? So
Yeah.
that also we can handle. Yeah, that also we can handle it by using what different kinds of repositories. Mamta. So one can refer local repository, other can refer global repository. Then later on you can just get it merged. That's also possible. But that if you try to, I think you would have seen the option at the time of creation of Power Center repository service, right? You know there's a checkbox called global repository. I think you would have used it, right? If you use that, that can be solved. That's one way. And second way is what? There is a metadata manager service within Informatica. So using that also we can solve this problem. So there are minor problems. Yeah? So mutual, exclusive or sharing of same meta element across multiple members who are spread across multiple parts of the globe, let us say. So that is very much possible. Yeah? Provided we need to organize things properly. If the admin is weak, then I think you'll face this problem. If admin is not weak, I don't think these are the problems. Yeah. Yeah, they're the minor things. So yeah, any other questions? Yeah. So you can think and ask questions in tomorrow. So yeah, I'll just jump to some other meeting, guys. Thanks to all guys, and bye.
Thanks, Narasimha.
Thank you all.
Yeah.